Okay, we are learning how to make a Microsoft Publisher poster for Ms. Watkins. Um, we are using Publisher to make an 11 by 17 poster of our book quotes. I'm going to start by going down here to the left-hand corner to the Windows button, click it. I'm trying to open Publisher and Word, and on this computer I have them both right here to open. If you don't see them here when you click that Windows button, I'm going to look under All Programs, and I'm going to find Microsoft Office right here, and you find them both again right here. Okay, so I open it, I click Publisher Open, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to click Word Open. Okay, once I have that Word document open, I'm going to go ahead and type all 20 of my quotes here. I'm going to use periods, proper punctuation, put the quotes in there, capitalize your first letter. This is where you are getting those quotes onto paper. Next thing I'm going to do is go to Google Images. I'm going to find my pictures that I need to put in my project. I'm doing all of this ahead of time so that I'm ready to make that poster when I have my lab time. To save this picture, I'm right-clicking, Save Image As, come up with a name for it, save, and now it is on my computer for me to add it to my poster later. Okay, so now I have my quotes, I have my pictures, I'm ready to start on my poster. I go to the bottom of my screen and click on my publisher document. First thing I need to do is select for blank page sizes the tabloid recording. Select the tabloid 11 by 17, double click it. Ms. Watkins' class is meeting in the room first. Tabloid 11 by 17. If this is the view that I want so I can see where I'm arranging things on my screen, I'm going to leave it here. Or I can go to the view, zoom, and make this 100%. Right now I'm looking at whole page so I can see where I'm putting things. If I want to be able to read the text that I'm putting on this 11 by 17 poster, I'm going to select 100%. So now I'm looking at the actual size that it will come out of the printer. Okay, so here's my 11 by 17 poster. First quote I'm going to add is the first one in my Microsoft Word document. So I'm going to hit Control C, or I'm going to right click and say copy. Go back at the bottom to your publisher document. And this is how you're going to add quotes. Whoops. Under Insert is where you find all of these fancy tricks. Remember, this is the most important button here on Publisher for you. So click Insert. Usually you're going to go down to Picture here. And a couple different places you can use. Word art is one of the ways to add a fancy quote. Select one of these lovely formats. I'm going to select this one and say OK. Now it tells me to put my text in here. I've already copied my text, so I can either right click and say paste, or I could have hit Control V and that would insert my first quote. I can make it different fonts. I can make it bigger or smaller from this screen. Then I click OK, puts it in my poster for me. Whoa, I'm running off the edges. This blue line is my border, so I made that way too big. Okay, so I'm going to grab these handlebars and make it smaller. I might want to run this up and down the side so I can turn it using that green fancy handlebar. Okay, that's one way to do it. I can go back to View, Zoom, and say Whole Page, and that's going to show me what that looks like on the page. Now I know I can make it a little bit bigger and turn it like that. Okay? Another trick under Insert Picture is Auto Shapes. This is how I was adding things like these thought bubbles onto my sample poster. It gives me this little plus symbol, and that's how I click and drag and I put my quote in there. I didn't go back. Here I go back to my Microsoft Word document. I'm going to highlight, Control C, or right click and paste or copy. Go back to my poster, and Control V lets me add that quote. Now I can't really see what that says because my view is too small, so I'm going back to zoom. I'm going to zoom it up to 100% again so I can actually read what I'm doing. And I want to make this much bigger so that it fits inside of my thought cloud. I like the way that looks. Now, I can also change the font here. I have to fit 20 quotes on this page, so I can already tell if I don't start making things smaller, I'm not going to have room for all 20, but I'll worry about that when I run out of room. Also, under Insert Picture, we have From File here. This is how I'm going to add the pictures of that bird that I clipped from Google, saved from Google Images already. So From File, I think I saved them under Downloads. Yep, there's my bluebird. I'm going to click it and Insert, and it puts it in there. I can click and drag it. I can make it bigger or smaller, put it anywhere I want on my screen. So that's how I'm putting my pictures in there. Other fancy tricks. If I just want to add a text box, I just put a square in here. That'll just be a quote. So I'll take my third quote and I will just put it in that box, and it won't have anything fancy to it. Control copy and Control V. There's my third quote, and that is just going to be hanging there on the page. It's not going to have anything fancy to it. You might have to do a few of those to fit all 20 of these onto the page. We'll make it a little bit bigger so that we can read it. Okay? When we're ready to print, we're going to go File and Print. We need to make sure that we have selected here the MMSFS01 Media Center printer. If you try to print with this Microsoft XPS, it's not going to do anything for you. There is no such printer, and it will be off in La La Land forever until you select the right one. So we select the correct printer. We want to change the size to 11 by 17 because that's what this is. We can only print in black and white, remember? So don't worry about trying to get this to appear in color. We won't ever be able to print in color, and we're going to click Print here. So I've had to make 2 changes on this printer dialog box. When people come up and tell me they can't print, it's because they haven't made these 2 changes. Change it to this printer, change it to 11 by 17 size. Click Print. Okay, you probably will not finish today, so we're going to save as. Call it your last name and save it to your documents. Make sure documents and your last name appear here and save. So now when you come back tomorrow, you will be able to go to the Start menu, Documents, and there is my Morton file to open again and use. Okay? And that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to use Publisher.